Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Das here. So today is a busy day. Not only do we have the community voting, but we also have a developer update, and it seems to be a pretty important one. So let's go ahead and read through this and see what the devs have to say. The 9.20 update arrives next week, so let's check out the notable gameplay changes you can expect from this public test build. Plus, stay tuned for next week's PTB patch notes, where we'll share the precise values that are changing for each of the topics below. New feature slugging reduction update. Okay. If a survivor is left in the dying state for a total of 90 seconds during a match, they gain the ability to pick themselves up after fully recovering. Add the option to enable or disable this mechanic in custom games. Note, perks that enable you to recover from dying state like Boon Exponential will continue to function as before without needing to meet this requirement. Gradually increases crawling speed for survivors who are left in dying state. Add the ability for survivors to recover while crawling. Recovery now occurs passively with no need to hold a button. Updated several survivor and killer perks to account for these changes. So these gifts are not playing for some reason. I wonder if I can force this to. Okay, I tried everything and the gifts aren't working, but this is a bit scary. Pick yourself up if you've been in dying state for 90 seconds. Dev note, when it comes to slugging, we know it can be frustrating if you're on the receiving end of it too often or for too long. We also know that sometimes it's a smart move. The update system acknowledges this, allowing the killer to slug occasionally when they feel like it's the right call. Will eventually kick in and swing in the survivor's favor if slugging is used excessively. A big part of this is also about making the experience of being slugged more pleasant. As much as being slugged can be, at least, recovery changes and crawling speed will give you a bit more agency when down, so you aren't just holding a button and waiting for somebody to come save you. So I believe what they're saying here now, we'll have to see how this is on the PTB. We'll have to test this out. Tunneling reduction update. Oh, okay. When a survivor is hooked, their hook status is hidden from the killer. When they're unhooked, there is no notification and their hook status isn't revealed immediately. This is disabled once all generators are completed. Unhooked survivors gain the following effects for limited time: haste, endurance, and elusive. See below. Status effects: no collision with other players, both killer and survivor. Immunity to killer instinct and sees the killer aura nearby. These effects are lost when the affected survivor performs a conspicuous action. All these effects, except haste and endurance, are disabled once all generators are completed. Added a unique effect to the killer hook state UI to indicate the last survivor they hooked. After completing a unique hook, the same survivor is not hooked consecutively. Killers get the following benefits: bonus damage for the next generator kick, temporary haste status effect, temporarily reveals survivors, think base kit, barbecue, and chili, that have less or equal hook states to the hook survivor. These effects are slightly lessened for the Blight, the Dark Lord, the Ghoul, the Hillbilly, and the Nurse. These effects are disabled once all generators are completed. Added new effects to decentivize tunneling. The survivor dies for 6 total hook states. All remaining survivors gain a repair speed bonus for the rest of the trial. If the survivor that was last hooked is sacrificed or killed, generators cannot be regressed or blocked. Wait, what? Added the option to enable or disable these new mechanics in custom games. Updated several survivor and killer perks to account for these changes. Dev note, it's no secret that tunneling can be seen as an efficient way to play for killers. While this can be true, it's also true as the results of this can be frustrating for survivors, leading to trials ending too quickly for some, while leaving others to fend for themselves, in a match that is now much more difficult. The intention here is for both roles to feel the benefits and incentives that come from spreading hook states. On the one end, survivors have better opportunities to evade and reset after unhooks. Also limiting those tough situations, losing survivor too quickly causes things to go south quickly and snowball. On the other end, killers are able to apply more map pressure to push back against efficient teams, covering ground post-hook and strengthening gen aggression. I think this is a lot, personally. I think this is a lot. So because you decide to hook the same person consecutively, you're not going to get gen regression or a hook block. So, or a gen block. So let's say like you have Pop goes the Weasel, or you have Deadman's, or you have Rolling Tremor or something like that. You're not going to get any of that benefit if you hook the same person again. So what if you just can't find another survivor? What if the unhookers are nowhere to be around and you end up finding the one that was hooked recently? Obviously, they say the UI is going to be delayed and stuff's not going to be super noticeable, but what about the instances where you simply can't find someone else, and you end up just hooking the same person again. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this plays in game. This seems like a lot to punish for this. I mean, I like that a lot of these effects are disabled in endgame, but a lot of these effects are only effective during the actual game. So I don't know. I feel like this is very heavy-handed. I understand slugging and tunneling are really big things, and I've been the victim of both before, and it's not fun when like you're in a 4-man queue and you die within the first like 5 minutes, and then you have to watch your teammates play for the rest of the game. You're just there waiting and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of these effects are very, very extreme. So again, we're gonna have to wait and see how this works in the PTB. But I don't know. I don't know about this personally. Elusive status effect. So they mentioned this earlier, and they said see below. So let's see. Add a new status effect that silences grunts of pain and suppresses survivor aura, pools of blood, and scratch marks. Dev note to start, we'll be using this new status effect as part of the tunneling reduction update. Plan to integrate this into relevant existing perks down the road to make their descriptions more streamlined. Arguably, the easiest way to look at this is survivor version of undetectable, in that when it's active, you know you're in stealth mode. Interesting. So it's like a new like Iron Will basically built in. There's a few perks that like remove your blood for a bit of time, remove your scratch marks, remove your aura and your grunts of pain, stuff like that. So it's just being changed to an effect. That's interesting. It's gonna be something that was, again, we're gonna have to wait and see. The Tomes lore update. Now that's something that pertains to me quite a bit and pertains to quite a few people in the community, because with the last battle pass there was absolutely no lore at all with it. So I'm very curious. Update the Tomes menu to feature new tomes and accompanying lore alongside each chapter release. New lore is unlocked each week within the active tome. Ever since we reworked the tome, we've seen how much you've yearned for more lore. I yearn for the lore. We're happy to share that beginning of 9.2, lore is back. While previously lore was tied to challenges, we want all players to have a chance to immerse themselves in these stories, so we shifted to a weekly unlock not linked to any quest completion. Nice. And then killer updates to shape. So this was mentioned in the video that Dead by Daylight released a couple weeks ago about shifting stuff in the future. So this will be very, very interesting. So the shape is something that has been kind of like weak for a while. His power is very outdated for what current Dead by Daylight is. Let's take a look here at what Michael Myers has different with his kit moving forward. Replaced Evil Within with 2 modes that can be toggled with a button press. Oh, Stalker mode, 4.2 movement speed, undetectable and can stalk survivors. Pursuer mode, 4.6 movement speed, 24 meter tear radius, increased vault speed, bonus to lunge range, break speed and stun recovery, and cannot stalk survivors. Once the stock meter is full, Evil Incarnate mode can be triggered at will, granting the following effects for a limited time. Note survivors no longer become exposed. 4.6 movement speed, 40 meter tear radius, and increased vault speed. Unlocks Slaughtering Strike ability. Hold the power button to charge this ability, reducing movement speed. Press the attack button while charging to quickly lunge forward, adjusting your angle as you move. The length of lunge depends on charge time. The survivor enters the killer's attack range while lunging. They're knocked into the dying state. This ability can also be used to destroy pallets. Okay. Unlocks ability to grab and kill or perform a regular more in survivors who would die the next time they're hooked. Oh, okay. Adjusted some of the mechanics of stalking. Remove the limited pool of stock points per survivor. Reduce stalk range to 32 meters. Remove distance modifier. Moving while stalking has increased movement speed, but incurs a reduced stalk rate. Reworked his add-ons. This is a video of this. It even has a different icon. So I would assume that this is basically like a special attack. Yeah, you can see right there. It's M2. So this wouldn't pair with Coup or anything like that. So you wouldn't get a super enhanced lunge. So you're removing that whole Giga lunge from Myers with coup de grace, make it clap, and his tier 3. Okay. Slugging Strike in action. Dev note, by moving away from the linear Evil Within tiers, we wanted to give players more tools that they can use to adapt to each trial's unique situations while keeping the core of what makes him the shape. Slugging Strike makes for a high threat offensive attack, offering up an instant down opportunity with an extended lunge that's particularly effective in loops and for ripping through pallets quickly. Understanding his kit changed quite a lot. We've done a pass on nearly all his add-ons, reworking many of them to offer more unique effects. Particularly for those who prefer his old playstyle, Fragrant Tuft of Hair will change Evil Carnate to function like Old Myers. Oh, okay. Offering an explosive effect and no Slugging Strike. Stay tuned for patch notes for the full details on these changes. So this is going to be interesting. I know for White Noise Design, there's one or two people in this community that love redeeming a full build where it's Jump Scare Myers. So I'm curious how this is going to work with the new Myers, because you're getting rid of, I'm assuming you're getting rid of the mirrors where you can see through terrain. You can see the auras. This is interesting. This is a very, very different Myers. So this is another one that we're definitely going to have to wait and see. I'm probably going to get a buddy of mine to get onto PTB with me so I can test this. I might see if Paulie wants to test some of this stuff. Obviously, again, with this PTB, there's also the new Survivor and Killer. So it's going to be a chunky PTB, but I have to wait and see. The fact that this can break pallets is interesting. But I don't know if I'm confused or not. You can probably tell me in the comments, but I don't know if this is like a one-shot still. But interesting. Clown minor update. Clown needs an update. He's been super oppressive with his buff. We'll have to wait and see what this is. So increased activation time for the Afterpiece Antidote. So that's his yellow gas. Increased how long the Afterpiece Tonic's hindered effect lingers after leaving smoke. Dev note, we heard your feedback. The Clown's easier to activate haste can make instigating and maintaining chases less interactive for survivors. That, coupled with nerfs to his purple bottles, has pushed players towards this frustrating tactic. To make both bottles feel like viable options without being too oppressive, we've adjusted the values and their most impactful qualities to strike a balance between pre 9.1 values and live values. Thank gods. I have not really wanted to play Clown, even though I have some stuff for achievements with him. And I hate playing against him because his yellow bottles, like Chase Clown, has just been super strong. And the argument people saying like, oh, well, you got to use specific perks for it, but you end up not being able to really do anything. And my buddy White Noise Design had a whole video of him playing Clown on the steering wheel, saying like how easy it is to really play Clown in his current state, which is using yellow balls and stuff like that. And he almost got a 4K with steering wheel yellow bottle Clown. The last person I think got out of the exit gate. They got out because they timed it perfectly when he left when checking. So the fact that they're going to be increasing the time it takes for the yellow gas to activate, I think is great because it activated super fast. I definitely think that is a good step. We're gonna have to see if this has a big enough impact, but it is a good step in the right direction. The unknown. Okay, the GIF is not loading, unfortunately. Increased additional time added to weakened when injured by UVX projectile. Increased movement speed recovery after teleporting, adjusted camera vertical range, and adjusted several add-ons. Okay, so having it so that you have additional time for weakened when you're injured by UVX is really nice. It's a nice little change. The movement speed after teleporting is very nice as well. I did feel like that you were a bit slow after you TP'd with unknown, so that's good. Camera vertical range, so that's going to be up and down. This has been kind of a complaint people have had with unknown where you can't really aim high enough or aim low enough. So I think this is going to help alleviate that. And several add-ons being changed is interesting. Is vertical camera range and action I can't see because it's not loading. The unknown is largely considered to be fun to play as and against. Agreed. We want to preserve that while adapting to the current state of gameplay. We buffed the UVX slightly while also taking what we learned from the animatronic again. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. To allow for orbitals, improving UVX aiming and making for even more fun gameplay. That's going to be really cool because I do like playing the unknown a bit. I think he's a super fun killer. So being able to do orbitals as him is going to be so fun and so much more skill expression. It's also likely, no surprise, that blurry photo is the most used add-on for the unknown. Yep, I use it quite a bit. Given the importance of speed recovery to help create an opportunity for more add-on experimentation, we've converted a portion of this add-on into a base kit buff, while also doing a pass on other add-ons that are due for some adjustments. Very, very exciting. I'm excited to see this. Hopefully this means more unknown players because I do like playing against the unknown quite a bit. Ooh, okay. So Dracula's getting some updates. Vampire form slightly reduced Hellfire cooldown. That's a good buff. Increased total Hellfire pose by 1. That's another good buff. Reduced Hellfire charge movement speed. That's smart. I recently just saw some clips of a player baiting Hellfire and then just moving around Survivor when they try to dodge Hellfire and blocking the pallet. So reducing his movement speed is going to prevent that a bit. It's going to add for some more mind game ability with the Survivor. Slightly increased slowdown time after casting Hellfire. I think that's fair because if the Survivor gets hit, you're immediately on them right there. It's almost a 2-tap, so I think making him a bit slower when coming out of the ability is smart. Wolf form increased pounce attack charge time. I think it's fair. I think the attack was a bit fast. Increased scent orm spot time. Ooh, okay. That's going to be a bit rough for Wolf. Again, we're going to see what the exact numbers are going to be, but this is very interesting. And then bat form, increased movement friction to make flying easier to control. Thank God. I feel like the bat form has been very, very clunky. So I think smoothing it out is going to be very beneficial. Adjust as add-ons. Vampire form is slightly less oppressive in short loops, where movement slowdown had less of an impact. And toning down wolf form's mobility, which has been outclassing some dash killers. On the flip side, you'll find bat form easier to control in tighter spaces and can use Hellfire slightly more frequently and reach further with it. There's going to be very interesting changes to Drac. Oh boy, the ghoul. This is a very chunky patch. Man, these are going to be 2 very long videos back to back. And grabbing a Survivor on the other side of a vault with Kugane Leap. The Survivor is released at the start of the Ghoul's Vault instead of at the end. Ooh, okay. It's no secret that it's been a common pain point for Survivors to be locked in place when hit with a Kugane Leap grab attack across the vault. Survivors shouldn't have to wait for the Ghoul to finish the vault before being able to move again, so we remove this tech. So this is what was known as kidnap tech. So basically, you do this vault in a very specific way where you grab on the Survivor and the Survivor is basically locked in place and it's basically a free down. Very happy that they've removed that. So now, like at the start of the animation, you are released and you can make as much distance as possible. Very, very good. Very good. He's still going to be a bit oppressive. I think the Ghoul is definitely one of the strongest killers in the game still. So, but this is a good change. The Oni, hooking a Survivor now spawns more blood orbs. Great. That's a great quality of life change for him. I like it. Super good. We understand that with the changes we're making to address slugging, this will impact the Oni slightly. So we want to mitigate this by turning hook Survivors into a greater source of power gauge buildup. The Oni is rewarded with more quickly snowballing power by hooking. Yeah, because this is something that was a pain point, that the anti-slugging thing is going to hurt people like Oni because it's what their power is built off of. So it's nice that he's getting a bit more of juice from hooking. Perk updates. This is the last bit right here. Update various perks. Dev-note, in addition to the general perk balance updates you can expect each release. We've also made a number of adjustments to account for the new systems coming to BD this update, specifically relating to slugging and tunneling. Stay tuned next Tuesday for the PTB live balance preview on Discord, where we'll dig into the details of these perks changes and then follow that up with patch notes where you can find the nitty-gritty numbers. Until next time, the By Daylight team. So I will definitely be looking at those patch notes. I might be looking at on stream and then just ripping that portion of the VOD onto YouTube just to talk about it. But it's a very, very, very beefy patch that's coming, and this is not even including the new Killer and Survivor that's coming. So this is very, very big shakeups and change for balance and for some killers in general. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see, but that's gonna be it for me. I just want to end it there. This is already a very, very long video. So again, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. I try to do Dead by Daylight content every week, especially when there's new stuff like this coming out. If you like the content that I put out, hit that like button, hit the bell so you get notified whenever a new video goes live. I do have channel memberships open, so if you want to get relatively early access to videos when possible, if you want to have a nice little badge next to your name or emotes to use that are tied to me, by all means, go ahead and become a channel member. But as always, hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, and evening. Goodbye, everyone.